Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Worms 30th Anniversary Bundle of November 2025. To help me answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Worms Rumble! A radical real-time 2D arena shooter that throws everything you know about the classic turn-based franchise out the airlock. Team 17 made a bold pivot, dropping the methodical turn-by-turn strategy for fast-paced 32-player deathmatches and battle royale variants like Last Worm Standing. If you're here expecting the strategic, calculating gameplay of old, you will be disappointed. This is pure adrenaline, requiring constant motion, good aim, and quick use of your wall jumping and rolling abilities to survive. The game nails the classic Worms aesthetic, complete with the ridiculous, smile-worthy arsenal. Yes, the holy hand grenade still delivers its glorious hallelujah, and the iconic character voices. You can spend time decking out your worm with custom cosmetics earned through progression, keeping the nostalgic charm alive. However, the changing pace comes at a cost, and it's a big one. The biggest letdown is the removal of the entirely destructible environment. You'll find your rocket launcher or banana bomb won't leave a massive satisfying crater, and that fundamental element of the franchise is sorely missed. The action also relies entirely on matchmaking, as there is zero single-player content outside of a tutorial. You need 32 people queuing up to start a game, which is a major risk if the player base doesn't stick around, leading to potentially painful queue times. You need to judge Worms Rumble not as a classic Worms game, but as a new 2D shooter wearing a worm costume. It's a great attempt at refreshing a long-running series, offering a genuinely fun, frantic combat experience supported by modes like The Lab that mixes things up weekly. If you can embrace the real-time chaos and forgive the destruction mechanics being nuked, this is a decent arena shooter. And number 2 we have Worms WMD. In Worms WMD, Team 17 takes players on a nostalgic trip back to the chaotic world of strategic worm warfare, reminiscent of the classic Worms Armageddon. If you've been a fan of the Worms series since childhood, Worms WMD will feel like a familiar friend. The turn-based action, the array of absurd weapons, and the joy of blowing up landscapes are all present and accounted for. But even if you're new to the series, the premise is simple. 2 teams of worms battle it out using everything from shotguns to holy hand grenades in a bid for supremacy. The addition of vehicles adds a fresh dynamic to the gameplay. Tanks, helicopters, and mechs bring heavy firepower to the battlefield, offering both protection and mobility. However, mastering these vehicles can be tricky, adding a new layer of challenge. The crafting system introduces a new twist, allowing players to craft upgraded versions of weapons using ingredients found on the battlefield. The inclusion of destructible buildings and varied terrain further enhances the strategic aspect of the game. Cover becomes crucial, and navigating the ever-changing landscape requires careful planning. However, Worms WMD isn't without its flaws. The physics system feels inconsistent at times, and some weapons behave unpredictably. The single-player campaign, while effective as a tutorial, is forgettable compared to the chaotic fun of multiplayer. Speaking of multiplayer, that's where Worms WMD truly shines. Local multiplayer with up to 6 players is a blast, offering hours of laughter and intense battles. Online multiplayer is also available, although the community may be sparse. Worms WMD is a welcome return to form for the series. While it may not revolutionize the franchise, it delivers the classic Worms experience with enough new additions to keep things interesting. Whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer, there's plenty of chaotic fun to be had in Worms WMD. And number 3 we have Worms Armageddon. The definitive version of the series' apex, perfectly preserving the legendary turn-based strategy game. This is the 3rd title in the series, yet it is widely considered the best, packing an over-the-top arsenal that introduced iconic wall munitions like the longbow and aqua sheep, alongside the classic bazooka and coveted prod. You command a team of 4 worms, hell-bent on mayhem across fully destructible, procedurally generated landscapes, a feature sorely missed in later iterations. This edition wisely focuses on 3 core elements that made the original a masterpiece: fantastic customization, a robust solo campaign, and foundational online multiplayer. You can name your team, give them distinct voices, and theme them up, adding hilarious personal stakes to the mayhem. The solo missions act as a perfect tutorial, teaching you to master tricky weapons like the ninja rope and diversifying targets far better than earlier CPU opponents. While the online WormNet framework helped propel the game in the 90s, the best fun is still had with hot seat play, passing a single controller to friends. While Digital Eclipse has done an excellent job of preservation, a couple of retro edges show. The sprites and levels can feel repetitive, and the console control layout takes serious getting used to. You'll almost certainly blow yourself up the first few times, trying to frantically manage the weapon menu, angle, and timer. Despite minor graphical limitations, the fun factor is undeniable. The classic Mayhem, hurling an exploding sheep at your enemy, and celebrating with a sweet backflip is fully intact. This Anniversary Edition is a worthy addition to your library, offering a delightful look into the game's history alongside the best Worms gameplay ever made. And number 4 we have Worms Ultimate Mayhem, the definitive 3D entry in the franchise, bundling the campaigns and chaos of both Worms 3D and Worms 4 Mayhem into one remastered package. It's a destructive turn-based strategy game that takes the classic formula, a huge arsenal of wacky weapons like the Holy Hand Grenade and Super Sheep, and stretches it out across fully destructible, sprawling 3-dimensional arenas. This shift fundamentally changes the strategy, demanding you to master new angles, verticality, and traversal tools like the jetpack and ninja rope. The sheer volume of content here is massive. You get over 70 single-player missions and challenges, letting you puzzle and battle your way through 2 full games worth of content. Customization is also a huge selling point. You can personalize your worm team with hats, voices, and even custom-built secret weaponry to surprise your opponents. The picture-in-picture display is a great addition, ensuring you don't miss any of the glorious action even while retreating. However, the leap to 3D comes with a heavy dose of familiar Worms jank. Navigating the vertical landscapes often turns into an accidental suicide mission, and the camera and mouse controls can feel unpolished, making precise aiming difficult. Reviewers also note that mouse movements feel like dragging a stick across gravel, without community fixes. While the strategic depth is there, especially in local multiplayer, the online scene is currently a ghost town, which is a tragedy for a game built for up to 4 players. Despite the technical hiccups, Ultimate Mayhem is an entertaining and content-heavy tribute to the 3D era. The core enjoyment, the sheer absurdity of the weapons, and the turn-based chaos shines through, especially when you play locally with friends. If you can handle the janky controls and camera, this is a fun nostalgia trip that delivers plenty of anarchic destruction. And number 5 we have Worms Revolution, a polished 2.5D entry into the classic turn-based strategy franchise, delivering a huge visual upgrade while retaining the addictive cartoon chaos fans love. This title successfully evolved the familiar formula, setting up wild, over-the-top shots with weapons like the bazooka and Holy Hand Grenade, but introducing exciting dynamic physics and gameplay mechanics. The biggest game changers are the classes: Soldier, Scout, Scientist, and Heavy. This adds serious tactical depth, forcing you to think about team composition. Scouts are super agile for making those clutch ninja rope escapes, while Heavies are tanks that can absorb massive damage but move like molasses. You can customize your 16 worm team with any mix of these classes, along with tons of hats, trinkets, and voices. The environments are now dynamic, featuring destructible physics objects that can release fire or poison, and the brand new dynamic water mechanic. You can blast holes to flood the map, washing enemy worms into oblivion, or use new water weapons like the water bomb. This keeps the turn-based gameplay fresh and unpredictable, although some reviewers feel the AI in later campaign missions is unforgivingly difficult, and water-based attacks lack that satisfying oomph of traditional explosives. You get a ton of content with 32 campaign missions, 20 puzzle levels, and a level editor to design your own arenas. Multiplayer is solid, offering online or local play across deathmatch, forts, or classic modes. If you're a lapsed Worms player, this is the perfect time to jump back in. It maintains the core fun while successfully introducing new elements that genuinely enhance the mayhem. And number 6 we have Worms World Party Remastered, the 2001 classic 2D turn-based strategy game brought back to life, arguably the best addition in the franchise. The premise is simple: control a team of cute armed-to-the-teeth annelids and use a ridiculously inventive arsenal to eliminate the opposing team. This remastered package brings back all of the legendary game modes, options, and weapons, now featuring crucial modern perks like crisp 1080p graphics, smooth 60 FPS animations, Steam achievements, leaderboards, and full controller support. It's not the graphics you care about though, it's the firepower. You get over 60 weapons, explosives, and projectiles at your disposal. Everything is here, from missiles and Uzis to the all-important Holy Hand Grenade and the absurd, devastating Concrete Donkey. Mobility items like jetpacks, teleporters, and the bungee rope are just as vital, allowing you to worm your way into the perfect sniping position or make a dramatic escape. While simple to pick up, this game is tricky to master. You'll need trial and error to maximize the impact of each weapon. Your worms will start as little more than cannon fodder until you learn the angles and timing. But face off against a well-matched opponent and you'll have an absolute blast. You can play with friends locally or jump into online multiplayer for up to 6 players, tackling quick skirmishes or over 20 multiplayer missions. The customization is huge, allowing you to tinker with health, time limits, sudden death rules, and even design the ultimate play space using the terrain editor. This update doesn't add new content, but the enhanced visuals and quality of life updates make it a definitive way to experience this classic. If you're a fan or a total newcomer, Worms World Party Remastered is a worthy blast from the past addition to your library. At number 7 we have Worms Crazy Golf, an unexpected but delightful mashup of the classic Worms Mayhem and arcade-style golf. The game takes the methodical precision of golf and injects the franchise's signature chaos, replacing stern golfers with customizable wisecracking worms and stuffy courses with pirate ships and graveyards. The simple premise, get the ball into the hole, is immediately accessible, making it easy for you to pick up and play. The core gameplay centers on mastering 2 swing mechanics, classic Worms for power and classic golf for accuracy. Beyond the basic stroke, you gain access to vital utilities like the blast shot, parachute, and reverse gravity. These abilities add a necessary layer of strategy, often being the difference between scraping a par and achieving a spectacular hole-in-one. Collecting coins and smashing crates scattered across the themed courses unlocks new hats, clubs, and sound banks, giving you plenty of incentive to revisit holes. While the combination is fun and addictive, the game has a few flaws you must navigate. The most persistent issue is the camera, which resets after every shot, constantly forcing you to correct the view. Additionally, some of the later holes and time-based challenges can feel inconsistent or purely punitive. Despite these minor technical hiccups, the game packs a great sense of humor and a surprising amount of content, including challenges and a local hot seat multiplayer mode. If you're looking for a casual game to while away a few minutes, or an entire hour, Worms Crazy Golf delivers a brilliant, unique, and highly enjoyable experience that defies all expectations. At number 8 we have Worms Blast, a fast-paced puzzle action spin-off that takes the classic franchise's chaotic weaponry and plunges it into the bubble shooter format. Forget the traditional turn-based strategy. Here, your mission is to pilot a boat, piloted by a worm, sheep, or even a super frog, on hostile waters, firing colored projectiles at a collapsing grid of blocks above. You clear blocks by matching colors, racing against time, or your opponent. The simple core mechanic, shoot, match, and survive, is overlaid with signature Worms absurdity. The game is packed with content, offering 60 wild single-player puzzle missions that vary the challenge in clever ways. However, where Worms Blast truly shines is in its local multiplayer. The head-to-head modes, like Deathmatch, are frantic, competitive, and highly addictive, making for fantastic couch co-op fun. You can unleash over 20 special weapons and gadgets, like bazookas and sea monsters, adding explosive chaos to the puzzle action and giving you the upper hand against a human or AI rival. Be warned though, this is a challenging game. The puzzle mode difficulty spikes sharply, and the game is notorious for being plagued by technical issues. You might experience crashes, particularly after the Avoid the Snake mission in the campaign, and you'll be stuck playing at a low maximum resolution of 1024 by 768. Community fixes often exist, but it's frustrating that you need them. If you can look past the dated graphics and technical jank, and are seeking a unique fast-paced puzzle game with great local versus action, Worms Blast is worth a look, especially if you have a nostalgic connection to the era. Just don't expect the tactical finesse of the 2D classics. At number 9 we have Worms Pinball, an arcade simulator that takes the humorous, explosive charm of the Worms franchise and translates it into 2 meticulously designed silver ball tables. This is not a complex strategy game, it is a pure pinball experience designed to test your reflexes and lightning-quick judgment. Before you even start, you can set up a game for up to 4 players or choose between 2 featured tables, the franchise tribute Worms and the racing-themed World Rally Fever. The key to success is realism. and the ball movement is very well done. Important physics like momentum, ball spin, and the realistic response of the flippers, from a gentle nudge to a powerful whack, are nicely catered for. You also have the ability to nudge the table, but be careful of the dreaded tilt that can instantly void your flipper control. Both tables are expertly designed, featuring bright colors and flashing lights that are easy to target, along with a wide variety of bonus missions and skill shot rewards. A highlight is the Super Sheep video mode on the Worms table, which is a fun mini-game within the display panel. The sound design is top-notch, with cheesy racing music for WRF, and the classic annoying "oh dear" and "bye-bye" sound effects when you lose a ball on the Worms table. While the design is excellent, the game suffers from one major flaw: the lack of content. With only 2 tables available, you may find the longevity very limited. Though the quality of both tables is undeniable, and the game is visually and audibly impressive, you'll likely find it confined to the occasionally played section of your collection, rather than being a long-term staple. At number 10 we have Worms Clan Wars, a notable iteration of the classic turn-based strategy series, focusing heavily on competitive online play through its titular Clan Wars mode. If you're familiar with titles like Worms Revolution, the core formula remains. Take a team of customized worms, drop them on a precarious, destructible island, and use a hilarious arsenal, from shotguns to the concrete donkey, to wipe out the opposition. The humorous accents and charming cartoon visuals are, as always, intact. While the core tactical gameplay is unchanged, Clan Wars features significant improvements elsewhere. The single-player experience is better than previous entries, offering a more substantial story mode narrated by Tara Pinkle. Although it functions largely as a glorified training ground for you to master weapons and utilities, it provides a decent solo diversion that the series often lacked. However, the main draw is the competitive scene. You can create your own custom clan with unique names and emblems, invite friends, and challenge other clans online to climb the competitive leagues. The game offers extensive customization over rules, worms, and environments, making it ideal for setting up finely tuned matches. Furthermore, the weapon balancing has been improved, leading to more rewarding and less frustrating fights where cheap wins are slightly minimized, though the occasional calamitous accidental death remains part of the charm. The inclusion of the Clan Wars mode and tweaked worm classes, each with more noticeable benefits, adds welcome depth to the competitive landscape. If you're highly competitive and want to test your skills in a global arena, this is one of the best tactical party games the franchise offers. If you're already bored of the core Worms formula, however, the new features won't be revolutionary enough to pull you back in. At number 11 we have Worms Reloaded, the classic 2D turn-based artillery strategy game you've known since the 90s, where teams of bazooka-wielding annelids fight across destructible environments. It retains the addictive fun formula of perfectly arced shots, humiliating enemy pokes into the ocean, and explosive chaos. This version takes a template of previous 2D successes, like Worms 2 Armageddon, and enhances it with higher resolution visuals and new features, all while wisely avoiding the mistakes of the series' 3D attempts. The biggest additions are in the arsenal, which now includes defensive weapons like sentry guns and electromagnets. These tools introduce a slightly more tactical layer, allowing you to lock down areas or deflect incoming fire. If you aren't keen on these changes, the comprehensive, if slightly clumsy rule set editor lets you easily switch them off. Purists should note that some physics tweaks, particularly in a ninja rope, and the return to the 4 worms per team, which may cause minor frustration. While the multiplayer is fantastic, the single-player mode is arguably pointless. Despite offering an escalating campaign, puzzle maps, and survival modes, the action is hampered by a ridiculously bipolar AI. One minute it is pulling off impossible trick shots. The next, it is committing accidental suicide. You'll find the single-player dull and instructional, rather than a genuine challenge. However, multiplayer is firmly where Reloaded shines. Despite minor technical issues like a large UI and occasional syncing problems, the core experience is as great as ever. It is a simple, beautiful, and highly polished version of the game that will quickly pull you back under the spell of the spineless ones. At number 12 we have Worms, the original and classic turn-based strategy game that launched one of gaming's most beloved franchises. This is where the core formula, up to 4 teams of annelids battling across destructible ever-changing 2D battlefields, was first conceived. It is a title that requires you to exercise great thought and strategy, blending skill with elements of sheer, outrageous fortune, and with its vast options, no 2 games are ever the same. For fans, playing the original is a dive into history, where you can see the initial simpler selection of weapons, like the bazooka and the crazed exploding sheep, that set the stage for everything that followed. The graphics are distinctive pixel art, offering a respectable detailed look that some fans argue has aged better than the more cartoonish sequels. The atmosphere has a unique 90s charm and a great sense of fun and exploration. However, be prepared for a less polished experience compared to modern versions. The sound effects can be fuzzy, and the menus are a bit unwieldy. The AI is a mixed bag. It will never miss with ranged weapons, but it also frequently gets stuck or awkwardly teleport. You'll find that some of your favorite later additions, like the Holy Hand Grenade or the Jetpack, are absent, making the combat more strategic and focus on basic weapons. Despite these minor imperfections, which are expected in a classic this old, the original Worms remains incredibly fun and addictive. Whether you're looking for pure nostalgia or want to experience the legendary technical party game where it all began, this award-winning title is a fantastic choice that you can easily pick up for a few minutes or play for an entire weekend. And that's all for this bundle. So, is this bundle worth it? Absolutely, if you have a crew ready for turn-based carnage. The original Worm is pure strategic fun, packed with iconic weapons and that chaotic pixel art charm. But let's be real, good luck finding enough buddies to actually play this 12 game pack in 2025. It is an undeniable classic, offering an insane amount of content for the price. But be warned, this is best enjoyed when you have friends physically present or a dedicated nostalgic squad online. Buy it for the history. Keep it, if you can drag 4 people into a lobby. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.